you know, if you see something, say something. Come tattle on your neighbors. Don't trust your neighbors. We went from a society when I was a little kid growing up where everybody, you know, on the block got together and they did things. They barbecued. They had whatever. You know, now it's like everybody's shuttered in their houses, and you know, and they're very individual, little tiny cliques, and nobody really. There's no community. There's no sense of community. And this is part of their you know, shutting us in with the mind-controlled television and all of that. Again, we're glossing over a lot of these subjects from the United Nations and their obvious attack on our sovereignty and this war is peace that we're living through. They're getting so much closer and taking away our rights. They're raiding raw milk farms. They're raiding people that walnuts are illegal. I mean, it's just it's beyond Orwellian. It's insane. And I think the only way we can do this is to join together and say, look, I just keep pointing it out. I mean, it's insane. Vaccines have to be mandatory, and they want all of this insane stuff. What about the rising police state? Where do you see all of this, all of these laws that these draconian laws they just passed? Where do you see this going?
Wow, it's taking us in the direction of total control. You have these control freaks, and they're not satisfied with the level of control that they have. They want more and more and more control. It's an addiction. They're addicted to power.
Right. They even want to tell you how much salt to put in your food, and then they tell you to be healthy. They tell you to be healthy, and then they take pharmaceutical drugs. Eat right. You know, have a balanced diet. You know, exercise, and take all these big pharma drugs that kill you.
Is there anything in this country that isn't regulated?
It's on everything.
It's absolutely amazing how little we're allowed to think for ourselves anymore.
I also want to, I got to bring back, though, the whole thing with faith again, where a lot of this goes on because everybody's been taught to not believe in anything, and I feel like that allows for the fear factor for a lot of people. If you don't believe in anything, then you're someone that I feel like that could be controlled real easy with fear. The fear of death, the fear of imprisonment, where again, believing in Jesus or really just the belief in yourself or anything is power, and everybody's lost that.
Courage.
That's how I feel.
There's no courage.
But again, it has to do with faith, like Fritz says. Again, it's just so obvious that the people who talk about Jesus and have that power and belief is the big threats.
Yeah, well said. If you don't stand for something, if you don't have a belief, you're easy to control.
Yeah, especially with fear. And I feel like, you know, that's probably what a lot of this is. The reason why a lot of people don't talk to their neighbors is everybody, you know, has been taught that we're all different and to be afraid of each other and don't really have an understanding. And that's why everybody's like just sheltered off and wants to be in their own little world, where we really have to go back. I know you were Amish. Maybe we could talk about that a little if you want or if you don't. But I mean, sort of, that seems like that kind of maybe life has to go back to that way, maybe.
Well, I was trying to get out of the system. I was trying to be part of Christian community, and it was educational. One thing I saw while I was Amish was to be successful like they are in living outside of the system, you really need a community of people to do it. To be one person trying to struggle and survive outside of the system really doesn't work very well.
That's why it's so important for people to come together and help people like you. You know, you talk about a community. That's what we really need to do. I don't know if you have any ideas or if there's anything, like I said, that people could do to help.
If I understood your question correctly, because you were kind of broken up, you were asking about community and what could help people move towards community.
Yeah, like
when I mention community, I'm not talking about like Jim Jones. People need to be able to constructively work together, and that's something that we've lost, and that in itself is a large subject. Just like in the Christian Patriot community, I see a lot of people just tearing each other apart. Or let's go an extended picture to the Christian churches in general. If you have a pastor and the pastor does something that's a little off color or somebody doesn't like, they'll rip him to shreds like wolves. And people need to start learning how to build each other up in love and not just go after each other and tear each other to shreds like a pack of angry wolves that are just fighting each other.
Well, again, just to add to this thing is, I'd like to know more. What can listeners and people that, all of us truth warriors or whatever we want to call ourselves, what could we do? Can you, I mean, the book, what could we do? Is there anything that you can, that you'd like to plug or let us know?
Oh yeah, let me talk actually for everybody out there. Fritz has a website. It's pentracks.com. That's pentracks.com. And there he's got all his books. It's all are available for purchase. You said pretty much most of your catalog, isn't that right? Right, Fritz?
Yes, most of the books that I have available. I also have, for a limited time, the Lies of Serpent store. So people can email me and inquire about these things also. Springmeier messages at hotmail.com. I will try working to answer people's emails that email me.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
I appreciate you bringing that out so people can follow up on this video show.
Well, it really is a life-changing. I mean, I've read the book. It's life-changing. It's voracious material once you get into it, and it's at first very difficult to work through. Because the belief system. It's the hardest thing to chop down is the belief system that we've been grown and programmed by the media, and programmed by television and the messages.
Well,
but it's an amazing.
There's places where people get upset at my material. One is like they turn to that one page where I talk about Count Dracula and Prince Charles, and I've had a number of people scream at me, Count Dracula is totally fictional, Well, yeah, the Hollywood version of Count Dracula is fiction, but there was a historical figure called Count Dracula. So people have mixed in with, people don't even know history. Now, I had one lady who called me out of the blue. I don't even know who she was, and she was screaming at me as soon as I picked up the phone, telling me what an idiot I was, because in my formula book, I referred to Hollywood, Florida. She said, "You don't even know where Hollywood is." Well, guess what? There is a Hollywood, Florida.
There sure is.
So I get this kind of thing happen every now and then, where people just are well, the word for it is ignorant, just ignorant, and it bothers them. This material might be true, just lash out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first stage, the first stage of awakening is anger. That was my reaction. I'll give you a brief overview. When I woke up, I was in Albany on business, and I was in a hotel room, and there's nothing on TV in the hotels, So you're chopping through the 6 stations they have, and there was a public access show playing Aaron Russo's film, Freedom to Fascism. And I just was astounded that the IRS is this big fraud. And that just made me angry. And then the more I learned, I get angry. But the idea of it being, you don't want to believe it. You know, it's like anger is the first reaction to the awakening.
To bad information.
Yeah.
Bad news.
Yeah, the anger, and then you're really mad. I mean, I'm still mad, actually. I mean, when you really get down to it, it's infuriating that our world is so controlled, and that they call us crazy conspiracy theorists or fanatics or whatever they want to call us. It's enraging to know the truth and to seek the truth and to research the truth. And, you know, nobody wants to pick up a book. You're right. They listen to the History Channel, it says it on TV, and that's what they believe.
Yeah. Yeah, very well said.
Well, Fritz, I'm actually holding up your book. I'm going to show the camera a picture you have in here with Marilyn Monroe, and you got Jane Mansfield doing, like, I guess that's with Anton Levy, this picture.
Anton LaVey.
You talk a little bit about the mind control. Can you tell the public that probably never heard or knew about Marilyn Monroe and these sex puppets?
Yeah, okay, how to approach the subject, which is enormous. The way I'm going to approach it at this moment is talking about the security systems, intelligence agencies have a job to protect intelligence. You know, you have different things. One is you have the intelligence agencies are tasked with finding information out, but also protecting information. And so it was important for presidents not to just be randomly screwing anybody that they wanted,
Right.
but that the system would have control over who the presidents had sex with. So they've created hundreds of sexual kittens for the presidents so that whenever a president goes anywhere, he can have all of the sex that he wants, and it's with sexual kittens that are mind controlled. And the first one that they allowed for the public to see was who we were talking about. And Marilyn Monroe, who again, like so many figures in history, actually, you know, that wasn't her given name. She was a program multiple. She was totally debilitated, and I know a lot of men dream of they wish that they could have lived with her, but if you would have lived with her, you would have seen how dysfunctional she was. And they had a terrible time in Hollywood to get her to function so that they could make movies with her. They had to have a lot of patience. But the mind control had really debilitated her. And they had her going to a shrink just to try to keep her mind holding up because she'd been so heavily traumatized.
Was this MK Ultra mind control, like you and Cameron? Was this you and Cameron's mind control? You and Cameron from
Cameron?
Was it you and Cameron's MK Ultra mind control?
Was one of the programmers.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you know, listening to what you said, you probably didn't get to see while you were a political prisoner, but there's been a lot of things like Anna Nicole Smith and others, where, like what you're saying, it was so embarrassing seeing real footage where she like acted like a 5-year-old girl or a little baby. It was disturbing, and it's probably the same thing like you're saying. They got these sex kittens or programmers, and it's still going on today. And I feel like that's like Hollywood and the movie stars. Oh, did we lose?
I don't know. Did we? I think we just lost Fritz.
Yeah, we've been
Yeah,
having.
it looks like my internet went down for a second there.
Okay, can you give him a call back real quick? We're going to recap, also talk about the rest of the show.